Alright guys, what's going on? I am Mugen underscore Katsuki, or known as Nelson Rios. I'm here doing a little review here for Masquerade Song and Shadows, which is an RPG from Yasby Games and Witching Hour Studios. So I'll be doing a little light review on here. Shout out to ReviewFix.com for allowing me to do this review on their channel. Now, I want to give a little synopsis of what the game is, and we'll go on with that. Experience a fantasy world inspired by Renaissance-era Venice, illustrated in a vibrant hand-drawn and style where tactical combat is essential for survival. Unravel a mystery that begins with the disappearance of a friend and ends with an intrigue and epic struggle of power. So you also have like famous voice talents as Matt Mercer, Felicia, Jennifer Hale, Dave Felony, and Ashly Burch. Really cool game. As I mentioned before, it is an RPG. You also have like some similar elements that they took from other games, such as Diablo and I think it's called like Deadlight or something like that. It's the other RPG. But what I really like about this game is that they have very tremendous voice acting. We're talking about there's not one point in the game besides like the combat text and the little NPCs on the side of the game. They actually are full dialogue speech that is implemented in the game, so you could feel like more immersive in the story and in the world and so on and so forth. So right now, I'm just gonna do like a short breakdown of what I think about the game, break down the combat, the sound, the art style, and stuff like that. So, first things first, we'll talk about the sound, which is what I was just mentioning before. It's very good. I'm talking about to the point where it makes you feel like you're in that era, in the whole Renaissance era in Venice. And of course, with these voice actors, it's on point. You feel the emotion, you feel the character. You can like, get a grasp of like what's actually going on and actually like, holy crap, this is actually a cool game. The combat with the sounds is like on point. You hear like metal clinging and swords clashing together. You hear the explosions and everything and so on and so forth. It's very cool. Very well done. As of combat style, as I was mentioning before, if anyone has played the, dungeon crawler like Diablo or Deadlight, you have a similar combat. You're able to use almost the regular face buttons, which is X, circle, triangle, square. You can also use the R1 button for your masquerade power, which will give you like a certain ability depending on what character you're using. You're able to use, I believe, up to 3 to 4 characters on the screen at the same time. And you have different effects of powers depending on what type of masquerade fighter or combatant you are, whether if it's fire, ice, earth, or air, which I think is like pretty legit. And you can also switch in between your people and your teammates rather, and it's a different way of like going about the healing system. As you see here, you have to revive the fallen comrade by pressing X and standing on it with a timer. And if you don't, then they're not going to be healed, they'll stay dead. So I have the game muted right now because I was talking in an earlier clip of this. I'm just giving my review of it. So if you guys actually play the game, you'll know what I'm talking about. The art style is really good. I love hand-drawn games, especially if it's like 2D or even 3D worlds. And it keeps it pretty consistent with the art style. I like it. Has a little bit of like futuresque Venice, kind of feel the Renaissance era with the armor, the weaponry that they use, the way how they talk, and so on and so forth. Um, what else can I talk about this game? The storyline, I don't want to spoil it too much, but again, you play with Cyrus, who's just like the main protagonist of the game, and he basically goes about, you know, within the tutorial, as you guys will see here, and apparently he is talking about his brother and how like, you know, he was a part of the war that's going on, and he's like, you know, looking for him and stuff like that. And there's a whole bunch of stuff, and then he gets like his powers taken away from him, and he comes back to like his regular town of where like all the other masquerade people is at within like a 5-year timeline, and things are still going on, or the war is still brewing. But again, I don't want to get too far into the story because again, I don't want to spoil things for you guys and whatnot. But as mentioned before, this is definitely a game to pick up if you are very well like fans of the companies, Yarsberg Games and Witching Hour Studios. They have done other games to complement the same style. And I'm currently playing this on the PlayStation 4, if anyone wants to ask. And yeah, this is, like I said, it's a really good game. I would recommend it to a lot of people who's into RPGs, indie gaming as well. You know, this is not like I don't think this is considered a AAA title, but for indie developers to make a game such as this is actually pretty good. I'm still currently playing it. Can't wait to fully complete the game. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this little mini short review. I know it's not like too well informative and too well in depth, but you know, as I mentioned before, the sound is really good, and it's just it's just amazing to hear actually like voices like narrating the story compared to just you reading dialogue and text all day. Like pretty ridiculous. So if anything, I can try to see if I could put a little sample on for you guys to see how the game sounds. So let me see if I could cue that in. So if you hear any voices in the background, that's just me talking. But as you can hear, the game, like pretty legit with the sounds. Trying to see if we could get to a point where they're actually talking again, so you guys can hear what I'm talking about as well with that. Alright.
Now, sir, we aim for the heart. Avestus will be trying to escape. We cannot let that happen, and we cannot afford to wait for Lyssandra's return. He will be long gone by then. We must do it ourselves.
That sounds dangerous, sir.
Null, we have broken into the heart of the White Spire.
Well, as I was mentioning before, it's a pretty legit voice acting crew. They got like top actors actually doing it, so that's like pretty legit. So, sound I love. Again, I love the art style because I'm a former artist myself. So, hand drawn concepts with the game and stuff like that, and keeping it like throughout the entire video is like amazing. The gameplay mechanics is pretty simple, pretty easy to use, very simplistic. You know, point A to point B way to going around the game. Loading time is like really fast, and yeah, like I said, I can't wait to finish it and put more on it. Once again, I would like to thank ReviewFix.com for allowing me to review this game. The title of this game is called Masquerade: Songs and Shadows. It's an RPG style game made by Yarsby Games and the Witching Hour Studios. Check those guys out, and hopefully you guys could enjoy the same experience as I did. Thank you for watching. See you next time.